One Piece chapter 1126 titled Taking Responsibility is out, and compared to last week's chapter it's a more relaxed chapter. Not a lot of there are big reveals, but not like the big ones we got last week. So Yamato's cover story, she's talking about the whole kidnapping thing we learned last chapter, the missing girls from this soba shop in Kuri. She's in Kuri. Still in Kuri right now. So we begin the chapter with the Straw Hats and the Giants still having their party. The two from Eni's lobby are talking about how they went to find Dory and Brogy, how they found themselves fighting on Little Garden. Luffy laughs at it, and Naomi asks them like, "Yo, you guys are still fighting?" And they say yes, and she's done with it. Usopp seems to like take offense to this, but that's Usopp. And the Giants bring up they're drinking something called, I'm not gonna say that word, the Green Fairy, and it's gonna make them hallucinate. So we'll see this later in the chapter. We'll see the hallucinations, but yeah, the party's going. The partying. All Straw Hats are here, all visible. And even Bonnie and Kuma are here. Kuma smiling. It's happy to see Kuma. He doesn't have emotion, but he's still Kuma. It's good to see. Now we cut to a scene we saw in a cover story. It was the Straw Hat Grand Fleet's Bartolomeo side, where Bartolomeo attacked and burnt down Shanks's flag on the island called Gartel Island in the New World. So Shanks is here, and Shanks and his crew have basically they've dealt with Bartolomeo, and Bartolomeo he's apologizing. It's a good point. He attacked Shanks's crew. When we see Shanks, standing his crew, and his sword is on his right side. And what arm does Shanks have? Shanks has a, let me see. Shanks has a right arm, so usually people say Shanks is not in a bad mood if his sword's on his right side, because pulling it out would not be as effective as if it was his left hand he was pulling out across his body. So he's serious about what he's saying, but he's not really in the mood of attacking Bartolomeo. Maybe because he's already low diffed him, but still. Then I think it was Hongo. I'll put his name up. The guy with he's wearing a tracksuit and he has a, what's it called? A ponytail, kind of like Luffy's Wano, but not like Wano. I'll just show him on screen right now. And he says, "Here's a deadly poison. Make sure Straw Hat Luffy takes it within a month, because Luffy is still like what Bartolomeo did was he burnt down Shanks's flag and tried putting up, I think it was boards or Luffy's flag. And this is an offense from one emperor to the other. It doesn't matter if Luffy had to do it. Is Bartolomeo is, for all intents and purposes, to the outside world, Luffy's subordinate. So Bartolomeo clocks this and he takes the poison immediately. And he says, "You, either die, then this go back on Luffy's name," because he said himself, Luffy never asked them to share the sake or to take up his flag. So none of the mess the Grand Fleet does has to do with Luffy. It was their choice, because even at the end of the Rosa, they said fine by me when Luffy said no to the whole Grand Fleet idea. They just took it by themselves. You know. So Bartolomeo basically resigns himself to death. Shanks looks at him and nothing happens. It seemed like the poison was just a gag. So like he's gonna give it to Luffy and it's gonna be like something funny. And Luffy's gonna take it and Luffy's gonna be like, "Oh, nothing happened, no reaction." Because Luffy would have taken the poison for Bartolomeo. Because Luffy said no matter what, it's a problem for the Grand Fleet, call him, he will help. So for such a thing, he will help. So the Grand Fleet basically ran away, and Bartolomeo says, "Oh, man, the Emperor, like the poison was fake, man. I thought the Emperor was supposed to be ruthless, man. He was softer than I expected." And then Shanks is smiling, talking to what's it called? The guy whose voice actor changed. I forgot his name again. Ben Beckman. Ben Beckman. He's talking to Ben Beckman. He's over here, and he's happy. Shanks is happy to see people dedicated to Luffy. And then Yasop comes and says, "Yo, step out the way." we can't just let them go. Like, they've taken the poison, yeah, that was emotional. They still have to face physical repercussions apart from when they beat up Bartolomeo. So, like with Kid, actions have consequences, and as the title of this chapter says, taking responsibility. Bartolomeo's ship was blown up. Narrator comes in on this day by Gartel Island. The Battle Club pirate ship was sunk. It is unknown if there are any survivors. What this tells me is Bartolomeo in the cover story. This cover story was happening post Dressrosa during Whole Cake, and sometime, yeah, it was during the Whole Cake Island arc. We got to see the cover story for the Straw Grand Fleet. Bartolomeo's side was definitely inside that whole arc, and honestly, just looking at this, huh? Bartolomeo did this. We saw this inside the arc. Does that mean this happened after the events of Wano? Because this, if everything's happening, if this happened when Bartolomeo burned down Shax's flag, this would have had to take place during Whole Cake, which means he has been here for well over a month and a half. Because the time is just happening because look, Wano Dressrosa to Whole Cake, and then Shanks had to go to to the grocery reverie, come back, go to Wano, come back, go to Elbaf, and now be here. Bartolomeo was there for a month and a half, which means I don't think that's possible. Which means the cover story for Bartolomeo's side took place 2 months in the future, which means, for all intents and purposes, Bartolomeo has been in the future for time. And this is the first time we've seen him current day. But anyway, that's that side. What happens next with Bartolomeo, we still don't know. Honestly, the fact that the Grand Fleet didn't show up at Egghead, it didn't show up at Wano, I don't really know what to think about them, That kind of becoming afterthought, Should we criticize Oda for once again doing this? But I let him cook. Sai and Leo cooked at Reverie. So let's go. Speaking of taking responsibility, Hachinosu, Blackbeard is back at Hachinosu, and he's asking Pizarro, "Yo, how did you let it happen? I wasn't gone for long." The whole thing about Kobe, because with Vegapunk's message, everybody is gonna go for Poneglyphs. Everybody's gonna to go for the One Piece. The government is gonna go in the Navy, and Kobe was the ace in the hole. And he's basically like, "Yo, I told you, man, to watch Kobe and watch Moria, and they're both gone." And Pizarro's gonna tell Teach, "Yo, hear me out, bro. We ain't just let him leave. Shit happened. God came, but Teach is not listening." And what's it called? We see Sanfanhof helping them rebuild Hachinosu after Garp's nuke. I know it was anime nuke, but Garp still did a lot of damage to Hachinosu. And the base pirates, I say we put the base pirates on captain level. Captain level. They're all on captain level. I know Kobe is the captain, but Kobe is not a captain level captain. So that's how I see it. And they're saying, "Yo, Teach, you're gonna get the One Piece. You're gonna be the man who claims the One Piece and gotta take over the rest of the world." And Teach is happy, Whatever happened, morale is up. Then he asks Kuzan, "Yeah, Kobe got away, but what?" He says, "Yeah, we got caught." It's cool, They're all happy. They're all happy, They're talking about. Kuzan says he was going for the kill. We saw in 1087, 1088 when Garp was laughing on the ground, he did have an icicle and he was bleeding. So it seemed like that was Kuzan trying to kill him, but he survived and he was like, "Yeah, it's a team effort anyway." Teacher's like, "It's Garp, And they're like, "Yeah, things are going our way. We have Garp and we have the three-eyed girl, And Pudding is then, it's just seen Pudding out here. I wonder where her weird slime thing is. And finally, during the whole point of view, I was like, okay, these people, members of the Titanic captains, are on Hachinosu. Some are with Teach, so it makes sense for Devon and Lafitte to both be going to Egghead. It was Devon and Olga, because of his warp fruits, who went to Egghead. So if I get where Lafitte is right behind by the red line near the red port. And it's talking about how, because last chapter, when the Celestial Dragons are complaining about the food shortage, I saw some people complaining, yo, why haven't they just delivered more food? And it seems evident why they haven't. Whatever the Rev did now, the bundlers just don't work. They keep breaking down, they keep blowing up, so they can't get the food up. And it seems like the Special Dragons actually are going to starve. And it seems like Lafitte is doing something there because teach them to get ready. He says, understood. That's it. Devon and Olga appear with Caribou. Pizarro helps them up. He carries their ships onto the island. He calls them docking, which is kind of funny. And then that's it. We see Caribou is tweaking, but it doesn't matter. We cut 2 days after the Egghead Island incident day. So we're 2 days removed from that day. And at the beginning of the chapter, we saw the giant warrior ship with a straw hat ship tied with a wire, and it was on the looking at the ship from the front. It's on the right side. Over here, the Sunny is gone, and everyone says, "Hey, what happened? Well, we passed out." This means these men passed out for 2 days, maybe a day, 2 days. The Sunny is gone. Interestingly enough, of the people left on the giant ship, because we know all the straw hats were on the giant ship, all the people left on the giant ship, only the straw hats aged above 30 are here. You know, Brooke, Frankie, Robin, Jimby, they just blacked out, they didn't hallucinate. However, all the under 25s, Chopper, Luffy, Usopp, Zoro, Sanji, Nami, they all left. Nami, hey, wake up. Nami wakes up and she seems to be on a Lego. She's in a Lego Elbaf with Elbaf clothes. Where is this foreboding place? End of chapter. But I think this may be hallucination. If not, something else has happened. I don't think that on Elbaf, the on Elbaf, hey, whoop-de-doo, all the Straw Hats who were there on Little Garden minus Chopper are going to Elbaf. That are on Elbaf. So, we move regardless. But interesting, Nami's wearing Elbaf attire. So this is Nami's Elbaf fit, I'm guessing. Go to the rest of Straw Hats. I don't see break next week. There might be a break. I'm not sure, but anyway, chapter ends. I don't know where they are. I think it's a hallucination. Just because they mentioned a hallucination at the beginning of the chapter, and the four adults, the four over 30s aren't hallucinating, but the rest are gone and are hallucinating. We are near a bunch of big ass fish, so at first when we saw Nami, we thought they were inside the fish, but then it seemed to be inside the fish. And also, this is the first time I think in story Nami has said she had too much to drink and Nami passed out. So it must have been some really strong shit, some giant shit. But anyway, overall, good chapter, really calm, steady chapter after last chapter. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Or I'll see you next week or the next chapter. I plan to maybe, not if there's no chapter next week, I might talk about a different manga. And then thank you all for listening. I'll see you all next chapter. Peace.